For centuries, countless global powers, from the ancient Romans to the British Empire, have all tried to control the land we now call Iran. And, well, they all failed. Even today, it remains this huge strategic puzzle for the world's biggest superpowers. So what's going on here? What makes this ancient land a fortress that nobody can seem to crack? Well, that's what we're going to dive into.
Just think about this for a second. For over 600 years, while empires were rising and falling and basically redrawing the entire map of the world, Iran's borders have barely moved. Now, that doesn't just happen by accident. It's a result of this really unique combination of defenses that we're about to break down.
And look, this goes way, way back. The list of would-be conquerors is basically a who's who of history's heavy hitters. The Romans couldn't hold it. The great Arab caliphates, they struggled just to control the heartland. The Turkish, Russian, and British empires, they all tried, and they all failed to absorb it. Iran has proven time and again that it can withstand almost any assault. So what is its secret?
Okay, so the first layer of this fortress, it's not made of bricks and mortar. It's built by Mother Nature herself. You see, Iran is surrounded on almost every single side by these massive natural mountain walls. Just look at this first line of defense. To the west, an invading army has to get through the Zagros Mountains. We're talking a colossal wall that makes any land invasion a logistical nightmare. And where the mountains finally give way, you get impassable marshlands, which is basically a giant natural moat. Then up north, the Alborz mountain range just completely seals off the border.
And it doesn't stop there. This defensive ring goes all the way around. Over to the east, you've got these rugged ranges forming a barrier with Afghanistan and Pakistan. And down south, the Persian Gulf itself is a huge barrier. Even if an army could land on the coast, they're immediately staring up at more mountains. It's a complete 360-degree defensive wall.
Okay, so if the mountains are the walls, every fortress needs a gate, right? Well, for Iran, that gate is the Strait of Hormuz. And let me tell you, this isn't just a gate, it's the fortress's ultimate weapon.
So this is where you can really see just how big of a geographic advantage Iran has. It controls the entire northern coast of the Persian Gulf. Meanwhile, you've got 7 other nations all crowded along the southern coast. This gives Iran this incredible V-shaped position over the Strait of Hormuz, which is the only way in or out. They basically control the whole thing.
So why does this one little waterway matter so much? It's all about what flows through it. We're talking a staggering 20% of the world's oil, almost all of Qatar's liquefied natural gas. All in all, about 5% of the entire global economy depends on this single, narrow choke point staying open.
Let's put a number on that, shall we? Closing the Strait of Hormuz could, by some estimates, vaporize $6 trillion from the global economy. This is Iran's ultimate trump card. The ability to cause that level of economic pain is an incredibly powerful deterrent. It's like having a kill switch for a huge chunk of the world economy.
But okay, let's just imagine for a second that an army somehow punches through those mountain walls. The fight isn't over, not even close. In fact, you could say the real nightmare is just getting started, because inside the fortress, Iran becomes a land of traps.
See, right in the heart of Iran, you've got 2 of the most brutal, inhospitable deserts on the planet. This basically forces its 90 million people to live concentrated in the mountainous regions and in the valleys. Now, for an invading army, this is an absolute disaster. Your supply lines would be stretched to the breaking point across these barren wastelands, all while you're trying to control a huge population that's dug into defensible mountain terrain.
And then you've got the people themselves. Iran is this incredibly diverse, multi-ethnic country. You have Persians, Azeris, Kurds, Arabs, and so many other groups. Now, internally, this can create tension and be a real challenge for its rulers. But for an invader, it's an even bigger problem. Because while all these groups might have their differences, history shows they have one very powerful thing in common: a fierce sense of nationalism when they're faced with an outside threat. You want a perfect example? Just look at the Iran-Iraq War. Saddam Hussein made a huge gamble. He thought Iran's ethnic minorities, like the Arabs and Kurds, would side with him and that the new revolutionary government would just fall apart. Well, the exact opposite happened. The invasion instantly unified the country. That war dragged on for 8 brutal years, and in the end, Saddam failed to hold a single inch of Iranian territory. So that brings us to the final defensive layer, and honestly, it might be the most powerful one of all.
It's not some secret weapon or some advanced technology, it's simply Iran's immense size, which turns any invasion into an impossible siege.
Iran covers a massive 1.6 million square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's more than double the size of a country like Pakistan. This is not a place you can just conquer in a few weeks. It's a vast, sprawling maze of mountains, deserts, and cities.
Now, this enormous size gives Iran what military strategists call strategic depth. And really, it's a simple idea. The land itself becomes a weapon. The deeper an enemy pushes into your territory, the longer their supply lines for fuel, food, and ammo become. They get weaker, more spread out, and more vulnerable with every single kilometer they advance.
So let's just walk through this doomed journey. First, an army has to fight its way through the mountains. Then it has to try and cross these vast deserts, with its logistics just falling apart. All the while, it's facing constant resistance from a united population. By the time it even gets close to the major cities like Tehran, which are located deep inside the country, its forces would be completely exhausted and overextended. The country just swallows armies whole.
So, when you put it all together, you've got these impenetrable mountains, a hand on the world's economic kill switch, a fiercely unified population, and just sheer, overwhelming size. It leaves you with one final question, doesn't it? If a country is a fortress with this many layers of defense, how could it ever really be conquered?